All right, let's go ahead and do it. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the March 15th edition of North College Hills City Council. We will begin our meeting with our prayer for NCH City Council. Why did that screen pop up? No, okay. Copy that. God, our Father, we are all your servants. We trust in your mercy and love. We trust also in your guidance. Direct the meetings of this council of North College Hill to make good decisions for all the people who live in our city. Give all the members of this council wisdom and insight to know what is best for our city. Help us to be fair and just in all our decisions. Bless us all to do the very best we can. With your help and guidance, we pray this in your name. Amen. Now have the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I got a couple of...
Amber is in there as an attendee.
Her number, yeah, so. All right.
Here.
Yep, I think I just gave her permission to talk. Bear with me there, folks, getting the names put in. Ms. Bailey, you should be able to speak now.
VIP. Yes, sir, I'm here.
All right. And Ms. Hartman, you should be good to go as well.
I'm here.
All right. So with that then, so Ms. DeWald is here tonight. So I'll do the roll call. Ms. Bailey.
Here.
Ms. Blythe.
Here.
Ms. Underwood. Ms. Underwood. Yeah, she was there. Mr. Miller Novak.
I'm still here.
Ms. Zorb.
Here.
Ms. Hartman.
Here.
And Ms. Anderson.
Here. Here. I'm sorry. I couldn't unmute myself.
All right. So everyone is present. All right. You have tonight's agenda.
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb.
I'd like to make a motion that we adopt the agenda as presented.
Mr. President, I'll second that motion.
Ms. Anderson. Motion from Ms. Zorb to adopt tonight's agenda as presented with a second by Ms. Anderson. Any discussion? I will call the roll. Ms. Bailey?
Yes.
Ms. Blythe?
Yes.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes.
Mr. Miller Novak,
Yes.
Ms. Zorb,
Yes.
Ms. Hartman,
Yes.
and Ms. Anderson.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
Yes for me too.
Motion-
Okay,
Motion passes 7-0. All right, you also have meeting minutes from the 3-1 meeting.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson,
I'll motion that we adopt the minutes from the 3/1/21 meeting.
Mr. President,
Ms. Bailey,
I will second that.
motion from Ms. Anderson, second from Ms. Bailey to adopt the meeting minutes from 3/1/21. Discussion? I will call the roll. Ms. Bailey,
Yes.
Ms. Blythe,
Yes.
Ms. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Miller Novak,
Yep.
Ms. Zorb,
Yes.
Ms. Hartman,
Yes.
Ms. Anderson.
Yes.
That motion also passes 7-0. Thank you. All right, as Ms. DeWald is not here, she did not give me any communications, so I will assume there are none at this point.
There is one.
What is it?
Yes.
Where did that come from?
Oh,
Go ahead, Ms. Zorb. What do you got?
I believe it's a snippet out of the 2021 cities and villages.
Oh, okay.
It's on the agenda.
On the- Is it on the agenda?
It's on this agenda.
All right, so you got
Sorry.
me. You got me.
I wasn't trying to one-up you, I promise.
Oh, I see it. I see it now. Okay, it's right.
Yep. I did not. I apparently printed an older version. Sorry.
Okay.
All right, so there was the copy of cities and villages.
Yeah.
Is that all?
That's all yeah.
All right. Thank you for
Mr.
that.
President,
Yes, Ms. Blythe.
what is that document, please? Just a,
This is a particular article out of it, but I believe the entire, it's a booklet that's
okay.
that is typically stored in the caucus room.
Okay, okay, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Okay.
All right, thank you again, Ms. Zorb. All right, we'll turn it over to council committees, starting with budget and finance.
All right, guys. We have not met since our last council meeting. Our last budget and finance meeting was canceled. I will assume that tentatively the next meeting will be Monday, the 12th at 7:30 p.m.
Thank you, Ms. Bailey. Next, city and community development and recreation.
We have not met since our last committee meeting, our last council meeting, I'm sorry. And tentatively, I would assume that their next meeting will be Monday, the 12th at 6:30 p.m.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Next up is public safety.
Thank you, Mr. President. We haven't met since February 22nd. Our next meeting is next week on Monday. Not really, I couldn't tell you the date, but we are meeting next week on Monday.
I believe that's March 22nd, correct?
Yes.
March 22nd.
Okay.
Thank you. And rules and public policy.
We have not met since February 22nd. Our next meeting is next week on Monday, on March 22nd. And I would also like to just briefly say, Ms. Anderson, if you need me to send you the agendas or whatever, if you shoot me a text, that's a way better way.
I got you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Underwood. Up next is ad hoc reports. Do we have any ad hoc reports?
Mr. President,
Mr. Miller Novak.
Yeah, I'll give a slight report on the new committee that we that the mayor and the administrator established with the school board and the Chamber of Commerce. Loosely, right now we've just been using the name United Progress Committee, UPC, until we come up with something with a little bit more moxie. Right now we're kind of organizing. We set up some basic bylaws. We've also started to organize categories of ideas and how we're going to get them in line. All I can say right now with some of the ideas have been loosely tossed. I'm going to kind of hold them back now, bring them when they're a little bit more developed. We'll discuss them, but there have been some great ideas that are being generated in terms of some small successes that won't require much money and a lot of hopefully participation from the business community. But just it's been great. The meetings have been very optimistic. School board is working really well with the members of the city. The city team, and also Pat Boss has been representing the Chamber of Commerce, and it's just been great. A lot of generation of ideas and stuff like that, and a lot of positivity. So I'm really excited about bringing some stuff back as we start really materializing some thoughts and ideas, and how city council can assist and things like that. So more to come. Sorry, that's not a very detailed report, but right now we're just kind of in the brainstorming stage.
Thank you, Mr. Miller Novak.
Mr. President.
Ms. Zorb.
Mr. Miller Novak, I'm curious to know the members of this committee and some of the maybe groundwork that's been done already.
Well, the members are myself and Ms. Underwood and the mayor and Mr. Mosby, Jean Blaylock, and Helen O'Rourke and Pat Boss. I mean, the groundwork is, as I said, we have some bylaws that, I mean, are public record. I mean, remind me, just email me and I can send you a copy of them. That's kind of it. I mean, it's a committee, so obviously the looser and kind of more informal, the better for generation of thoughts and ideas.
Excuse me, what was the name of the committee again, Mr. Miller Novak?
Well, don't hold us to it, because like I said, it's temporary, but uniform progress committee until that was just something I had typed up to put together bylaws, but it's temporary. I hope that we come up with something with a little bit more moxie and appeal than that.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Any other ad hoc reports? Thank you, Mr. Miller Novak, by the way. All right, as I hear no other reports, we'll turn it over to the administrative reports, and we'll turn it over to the mayor, Tracy Nichols.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll be very brief. I just had two things. One of the first things was we are coming around the corner for our spring cleanup day. We have set a date that will be April 24th, which is a Saturday, from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. So we would like anyone who would like to come out and volunteer and help for our spring cleanup day to do so. And the other thing, I think I've mentioned this a few months ago. If some of you remember, some of you may or may not have been a part of council when the high school would come in for Government Day. Well, Mr. Spangler, who was one of our social studies teachers, approached me a few weeks ago. And he really feels like that's something that we need to connect again with the students to get them involved with the government of the city again. I explained to him, well, with COVID, we really weren't meeting. So I'm not sure if we can do an invite for the students. They would get extra credit just to be able to sit in on one of our meetings. Generally, it was done in April. If it's something that we can't do this year, if we could shoot for a couple of times next year, once we open up, because I don't know if any of you remember, the students would come in and there will be 7 council members. There will be a police chief, a fire chief, city manager, mayor, a clerk. They would bring students and they would run the meeting. If that's not something that you're interested in, if we could come up with another way for them to be part of our council meeting. I told him I would find out. It doesn't have to be an answer today, but I would really like to see that, just to make that connect. And it's a really good learning opportunity for the kids to really see how their local government works. And that's all I have. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Any questions?
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood?
Madam Mayor, can you just repeat the information about the cleanup day?
It's Saturday, April 24th from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. The check-in will be at the city center again. I do believe that we'll have T-shirts provided, and we'll provide the garbage bags and so forth. We haven't really made any definites on lunch. Generally, there's lunch served. I'm not sure if Mr. Mosby has reached out to anyone as of yet.
Mr.
Thank you.
President, I'm sorry.
Ms. Anderson?
Is there, sorry, Madam Mayor, is there a sign-up sheet for volunteers anywhere, or somebody we should email?
What, you can email Miss Toll.
Okay.
If you want to come, but there'll be a sign-up sheet that day. If you don't sign up with her, you can just come in and sign up. We generally have more than enough for those who want to participate to go out.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Madam Mayor. Next up is the city administrator's report. Mr. Mosby.
Sorry about that. Thank you, Mr. President. I guess I'll begin by responding to the mayor's inquiry about the lunch for cleanup day. We talked to Crimmers. So at this particular point, we're planning on having Crimmers to sponsor lunch for those who participate. We will get a menu. We do want to be sensitive because we know that some people don't eat meat. But I think what we're going to do is what we did last time, which is once people are finished, they can actually get a ticket, and then they would be able to go over to Crimmers and get their lunch over there, a complimentary lunch.
Mr. President,
Ms. Blythe?
for this time, can we just please make sure that our volunteers get a voucher for 2 slices of pizza? When we did that last year, we went to Crimmers and they were giving you 1 cheese pizza. So I was thinking it would be nice, since there's people not familiar with our community, if when they turn in the voucher, they can either get 2 cheese slices or 2 pepperoni. That would be a little bit better, but I think some people just ended up buying it. But I think it looks a little bit better if you give them 2 slices for 2 to 3 hours of work. That's just my opinion. Thank you.
Well, we can ask them about that. I'll make sure to talk to Ms. Toll to communicate that to Crimmers. So this past week, we received the devices for the members of council. We do need to equip and inventory them, but they should be ready for distribution by the next scheduled meeting. We've also received 105. We were informed that we received $105,000 in community development block grant funding for this 3-year cycle. 55,000 would go toward Dumley Park, which includes building demolition and the creation of the splash pool or splash park, excuse me. And then another 50,000, at least at this particular time, that's slated for traffic calming for Galbraith Road. The money, however, will not be available until 2023. So it is confirmed that we'll get it, but we will get it in that particular year. The next, I think Mr. Miller Novak was talking about the next meeting of the Progress Committee. That meeting will be held on April the 10th, which is a Saturday morning. It will be at 9:30. I've been working with ICRC so that they would be able to record that meeting as well. And at this particular point, it looks favorable. Of course, I'll make sure that, once it is, I know that we already have it out on the calendar on the city's website. Finally, I just received news actually just before the council meeting began that we did receive the grant for the second pair of electric vehicle charging stations. So I'll be working with Electrata to get those installed. I don't have a date just yet, but like I said, the grant was awarded, so we should be seeing that come in probably within the next couple of months. And that's about all I have right now, Mr. President.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson.
I have a question for Mr. Mosby. Do you know where the next charging stations will be?
Yes, they will actually be across from the current set. So if you're facing the city center, the current set is on the left-hand side. The second set will be on the right-hand side.
Cool. Okay, thank you.
Mr. President,
Ms. Orb.
Mr. Mosby, is there any chance that second set could be put in the parking lot up by our business district instead of here where there's less traffic?
Well, when they initially put in the infrastructure, they accounted for all 4 of them in this particular location. And in the business district, we would have to obviously be able to have a place. I guess, technically, they may have been able to look at perhaps where the parking lot is now, but when we discussed it earlier, we thought strategically that if all of them were placed in the one kind of central location, that would be ideal for them to dig out and like I said, to install the infrastructure and then to have them installed. So.
Mr. Mosby, do we receive any data regarding usage?
I was going to ask that too. Yeah.
We have not yet. I will be talking to them so what I can find out what we've had as far as a quarterly usage report.
All right. Any other questions for the city administrator?
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood.
Mr. Mosby, how did the block grants come about? Did somebody apply for that, or did they just magically appear out of the sky? Just curious.
Sorry. I was just thinking, I don't know, Miss Underwood, I just suddenly thought of Lucky Charms. But no, we actually had to apply for the grants. And so when we put out we put out an announcement back in November. We used social media, and that was acceptable because of COVID-19 restrictions. So the county did accept, the use of, we could receive input basically, through the internet, through email, instead of actually having in-meeting persons. So we had put that out. back in November. But right around after that was completed, after we had passed that time, I did talk to the county, and they helped walk through the application basically for those.
I would just like to say thank you very much, Mr. Mosby and Mayor Nichols, for applying for that money for our city, because when you announced that we had received it, you kind of skipped over the part where you actually went and applied for the grant itself. And I've taken a grant writing class. It's not easy by any stretch of the imagination. And I would just like to acknowledge and thank you for your hard work in getting that for our city.
Mr.
Oh, well,
President.
thank you. I appreciate that. I'm sorry that I didn't put that in earlier, but sure, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Underwood.
Mr. President.
Yes, Mr. Miller.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to piggyback on what Erica said. I think you guys are awful at gloating. You know, I think that was an undersell. I think that's a huge success for us. You know, I mean, admittedly, I didn't really live in North College Hill when the pool was still open, but you certainly hear a lot of, I don't know, I want to use the word animosity, but you certainly hear a lot of, you know, expressions of loss and disappointment that North College Hill lost its pool once upon a time and doesn't have it any longer. You know, I think we need this as a community. I think we need something like it. I think we've wanted something like it since the pool has been gone for a long time. And this is a first step to getting that, and seed money for other grants and things like that. And, you know, 2 years before that money is made available is time to use that money and piggyback on grabbing other grants and making a really killer splash park, the likes of which the city certainly deserves and needs. North College needs. We need a win, and this is the first step, and not just like a teeny step, but a solid step towards that victory I think we're all aching for. So really well done. Don't be afraid to pat yourselves on the back a little bit, because we should be excited about these successes as a government. We should be excited as a council when you guys succeed, and we should provide you the support that we can to make this happen. This is an all hands on deck thing, and everybody should be thrilled about it. So bravo, I'm very excited about the news. I was ecstatic when I saw the email, so thank you.
Mr. President.
Mr. Mosby.
Well, first, I do want to thank the council members for the very kind words for that. I will say that Mr. Miller-Novak did accurately describe, you know, this is just the first step, you know, in the process. And he is correct. We need to use that money as seed money to see if we can find matching grants. The other part that we have to do, and I have shared this, and in fact, we did share this during the Progress Committee meeting on Saturday, though. But we, you know, one of the things I have to do is work with our engineer so that we can actually, you know, really develop a plan. I do feel very good about it, and I think Mr. Miller-Novak is right. I probably don't gloat too well, but when I think about the steps that have been taken toward Dumley Park, you know, first we had the installation of the inclusive playground equipment, and that was major. You know, we also had that the special surface that was able to be put in there. I think the next step would be for us to, you know, also get to remove the older playground equipment and to be able to get some newer playground equipment to put in there as well. But I do agree that, you know, this could really be a real renaissance and renovation for Dumley Park. And I think that, quite frankly, I like the fact that it is Dumley Park. You know, it's in honor of one of our own fallen marshals. But in that sense, it's related to public safety. So I do agree with Mr. Miller-Novak as well as Ms. Underwood that, this can be very big. It will take some time. So I don't want anyone to think that this is going to happen overnight. But yes, with council support, I do believe that we can really make some headway here. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, next item on the agenda is the law director's report. The law director is not with us this evening, so we'll move on to the finance director's report. Ms. Hall.
Thank you, Mr. President. I did want to just mention a few things that I had intended to mention in the Finance Committee meeting. Our finance department did have a resignation, and we are going to fill that position. We have a search out currently. Again, it's just a part-time position, but I just wanted council to be made aware of that. We are also in preparation for our audit right now, and we are in preparation for our Q1 financials. So just be on the lookout for those things in the near future. Additionally, just good news to hear about the progress that we're making under the leadership of Mayor Nichols and this administration, just with the EV charging stations and the grant funding for these strategic initiatives. It just seems like we're just heading in the right direction. We had a few setbacks, but it's so great to hear this good news. So that's all that I've got. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hall. Any questions for the finance director?
Mr. President.
Ms. Zorb?
Ms. Hall, could you elaborate on the position that's open, please?
That is the
Perhaps
accounts receivable position. Again, that is a part-time position. And we are just filling a position where someone just resigned from it. So it's not a new position or anything.
I'm not looking to apply, but maybe somebody listening is. I just wanted to
No
put more
worries.
information.
Mr. President.
Mr. Mosby.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I think it's also important to add that in that position, part of that job description is grant writing. I was actually glad that Ms. Zorb had asked about that. So I would also want to make it clear that there's a certain skill set that would be required for that position, and part of that is to be able to look for grants. And as Ms. Hall said, I think that the timing on this couldn't be better, because obviously, we can now target some very specific grants that we're able to go after, and we actually have now some seed funding in order to do that.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions? All right, we'll move to call of members, starting with Ms. Bailey.
I don't have very much. I just want to thank you guys. It's been truly awesome to serve with you guys. And I hope that everybody, continues to stay safe and love one another. And I'm really, really, really excited to visit Dunley Park in the future and see all the great changes that have been made up there. So, yeah, that's all I got. I appreciate all of you guys.
Yeah, thank you for your years of service to the city there, Ms. Bailey. Next up, Ms. Blythe.
No comments at this time.
Thank you. Ms. Underwood.
Thank you, Mr. President. I actually did, can't remember who suggested it, but I did go and take a look at file cabinets the other day. And I am disheartened and dismayed at what I found. So I will follow up with Mr. Mosby about that. It was on my action item list. So I will follow up on that. And I would just like to take this opportunity to thank Ms. Bailey for her service. I have said from the very beginning that serving on North College Hills City Council is a labor of love. So anybody who agrees to serve, certainly as long as you seem to have done, obviously cares about this community. So thank you for your service. That's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Underwood. Mr. Miller Novak.
Yeah. Well, no, I'd just like to reverberate that I'm happy to see some things like that Ms. Hall said, and things are seeming to move in the right direction in some regards. I also would like to thank Ms. Bailey for her service on the council. I know I've enjoyed working with you. Freudian slip. Everybody feels like we work for you, not with you. No, I mean, all jokes aside, it's been nice having you on council, and I always appreciate anybody who's willing to do it. It is certainly a service to the community, and I will tell you the same thing I tell everybody when they tell me they're leaving North College Hill. I sincerely hope you regret your decision. That's a bad joke. I wish you the best, but at the same point in time, I do hope you miss us a little bit. And yeah, certainly, I hope you stay in touch on a personal level and shoot me a text message every now and then so I can tell you when the splash park is done so you can bring your son down and enjoy it.
For sure.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Miller Novak. Ms. Zorb, you're up.
So I don't really have anything except to say, Ms. Bailey, I wish your face was on that screen so I could look at you when I say this. You and I have had some really rough patches. But I will miss you because I know that just like myself, your heart is always in the right place. And I appreciate that. And your heart is always for what's best in the city. So thank you for that. Thank you for being a formidable advocate. And I don't know. Good luck. I'll miss you.
Thanks. Y'all, I'm tearing up, so y'all don't want to see me right now.
Thank you, Ms. Zorb. Ms. Hartman.
Hi, thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, Miss Bailey, I didn't get much time with you, but I want to wish you the best and good luck in your future. That's it.
Thank you, Ms. Hartman. And Ms. Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, I just want to thank Mayor Nichols. He was a wonderful mayor for me today. And she came and talked to my second graders about what it's like to work for local government and be a mayor. And that was just awesome. I learned more about my mayor today than I have through every single council meeting that we've had. So that was pretty amazing. I learned that just how much she really cares about all of her citizens, which is pretty awesome. And I also just want to thank her and Mr. Mosey for all the grants. I swear I had it on my list of things to say before everybody else jumped on the thanking bandwagon. So I promise I'm not just a follower. But I think it's also a good thing that it'll take a while too, especially with COVID and everything. I think it's probably better that we take our time on it either way. So that's just kind of a hidden benefit to the grants taking a while. So I appreciate you guys for doing all of that. And I'm also excited to go to the cleanup day. Those are always really fun. And I don't mean to sound sarcastic when I say that. I really do mean it. I think that those are always a good time. And it's nice to get smiling, waving people driving past when they see us cleaning up. And it's always good to make your neighbor smile. And then finally, Miss Bailey, I like Miss Hartman. I've not gotten to work with you for very long, but I feel like I know you better than some of my friends I've had for years. So it's so nice to work with you, and it's so nice to have somebody who's so passionate about North College Hill. And I know that the people and all of us will miss you a lot. So thank you.
Thanks, guys, so much. And Mr. President, right quick, I do have a little free pantry that needs a new home. So if the city wants it, or if one of you guys want to adopt it, that would be cool. But it does need a new home. Just putting it out there.
Mr.
Noted.
President.
Thank you. Yes, Ms. Nichols.
If I could, I would first of all like to as well say to Miss Bailey, it's been a pleasure. We both know you're a little different. You're a little different. You're a little passionate about everything that you believe in, and I appreciate that about you. I wish I told you earlier, but when we talked earlier today, good luck, best, and I really mean that. Best of luck to you. Wherever the wind blows you, I'm sure you'll get involved just the same way that you did here. And to Miss Anderson, thank you for allowing me to come today. I found out that I am not smarter than a second grader. So those are the cutest, smartest little people I've ever in my life. I was like, okay, you have to be prepared, but thank you for having me.
All right, thank you, ma'am. That'll move us into legislation. So first item on legislation is a second reading of Resolution 06-2021, NCH Fire Levy, declaring the necessity of levying a replacement tax in excess of the 10 mil limitation and requesting the county auditor to certify matters in connection therewith.
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood.
I would like to move to suspend the third reading for Resolution 6-2021.
Mr. President, I'll second that motion.
I have a motion from Ms. Underwood, second from Ms. Anderson to suspend third reading of Resolution 06-2021. Discussion?
Mr. President.
Ms. Zorb?
I'd just like to ask, what was your motivation for doing that?
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood?
so I know that there are some people who are very reluctant about anything that suspending the readings on legislation that will impact us financially. But this particular one, all it is we're just asking for information. So it actually, I think, will help the members make a good decision about like how much of a fire levy we need. We all agree that we need one, but this will give us the information we need about how much we need that will sustain our fire department. And the sooner we can have this information, then the sooner we can kind of haggle it out and figure out what we can do so that we can get that done. So this is not going to impact us financially at all. And correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Mosby. This is just to get the county to send us the information to let us know what a fire levy would raise for us.
Mr. President.
Mr. Mosby?
Yes, that is correct. I mean, basically what we're doing is certifying the Hamilton County Auditor is certifying the amounts and rates so that we could see how much money a proposed levy would generate for our budget. And it is information that is essential should council choose to place the levy on the ballot. And there is a time factor that is in effect here. I guess, council may want to choose to do additional sessions, during the summer, but we're heading into April. And of course, I think I shared earlier that, we have to have everything done at including the resolution to proceed by, and that has to be at the Board of Election by August. So there is a time factor that is in play here that has to be considered.
Okay, thank you. I'll call the roll. Ms. Bailey?
No.
Ms. Blythe?
Yes.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes.
Mr. Miller Novak?
Yes.
Ms. Zorb?
Yes.
Ms. Hartman,
Yes.
Ms. Anderson.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood,
I move that we adopt Resolution 6-2021.
Mr. President, I'll second that motion.
motion from Ms. Underwood, second from Ms. Anderson to adopt Resolution 06-2021. Any discussion? I'll call the roll. Ms. Bailey,
Yes.
Ms. Blythe,
Yes.
Ms. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Miller Novak,
Yes.
Ms. Zorb,
Yeah. Yeah.
Ms. Hartman,
Yes.
and Ms. Anderson.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Next item of legislation is third reading, Resolution 08-2021, a resolution to ask for requests of proposals for amending the comprehensive plan.
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood was louder. Was she first?
I was first, but I don't mind
All right,
either
go
way.
ahead, Ms.
I'll make a motion to adopt Resolution 8-2021.
Mr. President, I'll second that.
Motion for Ms. Bailey, second for Ms. Underwood to adopt Resolution 08-2021. Discussion? I will call the roll. Ms. Bailey,
Yes.
Ms. Blythe,
Yes.
Ms. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Miller Novak,
Yes.
Yes.
Ms. Hartman,
Yes.
Ms. Anderson.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. And last item of legislation for the evening, third reading, Ordinance 01-2021. An ordinance to establish a North College Hill Home Buyers Assistance Fund titled the Down Payment Assistance Fund numbered 206.
Mr. President,
Ms. Bailey,
I would like to make a motion to adopt Ordinance 1-2021.
Mr. President. I'll
Mr.
second
President,
nice try, Ms. Underwood. All right, motion for Ms. Bailey, second for Ms. Zorb to adopt Ordinance 01-2021. Discussion? I'll call the roll. Ms. Bailey,
Yes.
Blythe,
Yes.
Ms. Underwood,
adding on to this?
yes.
Mr. Miller
What
Novak,
are the new ones?
Ms. Zorb,
Yes.
It started with.
Ms. Hartman,
Yes.
Ms. Anderson.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. That is all for legislation this evening.
You've had an easy night. It's not over yet. Good point.
All right, so next up is comments from the audience. There is no one in the room here with us, and I see no attendees on the line, so we'll move to old business.
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb was up first.
It probably leads into what she was going to say, but did we receive an email with all the positions that are going to be open on council?
Mr.
I
President,
don't recall seeing one. Ms. Bailey?
I sent that to you guys. Now I'm second guessing myself. I thought I sent that to you guys before this
You did.
meeting or just when this,
Mr. President,
did I?
sorry, it's 7:15.
Cool. So I totally dropped the ball on that. I've been having email issues. I think it's mostly user error, to be honest. So I did send that today, though, to everyone.
So yes, we did receive it this evening.
My bad, guys.
Mr. President,
Mr. Miller Novak.
well, we can't fire Amber because she quit, so we'll have to let it go. But yeah, dun-dun-dun. I actually wanted to throw my hat in the ring to chair the Finance Committee. So I figured this is probably the appropriate time to announce that.
It's as appropriate as any time.
Mr. President,
Ms. Bailey?
although I won't be here, I have had very long discussions with Mr. Miller Novak, and he does seem not only willing but ready to chair the Finance Committee and also to get more involved in the finances of the city. So I think it would be a good thing for him. Plus, that means he'd have to come every Monday night now. That's that.
That's true.
I'm sorry, Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood.
are we doing this now or are we gonna wait and do this in April?
Mr. President.
Mr. Miller Novak.
Ms. Underwood, I personally would like to get going on it. So I guess I'm requesting now because Amber's got things to do with putting her house on the market and stuff like that. So I want to be able to bug her as much as I can before she's kind of indisposed in that regard. And I want to be able to meet with Ms. Hall and Ron or talk with them on the phone as needed to kind of get ready. So I'm prepared in the next Finance Committee meeting to be somewhat useful in that role.
Mr. President,
Ms. Bailey.
again, my opinion doesn't really matter, but it kind of does. So I did ask the mayor today, and I know she was going to reach out to Mr. Mosby. She probably hasn't had time yet, but if she has, cool. Not to necessarily, they're going to take me off of the distribution list as of March 30th, but they're going to give me a little bit of time to get all of the rest of my minutes in order. So the quicker that you guys make the decision on who will chair the Finance Committee, it'll be helpful to me to get minutes to them and notes to them and any other documents that I have in the treasure trove of documents. So,
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood.
I move that Matt Miller Novak be appointed as the chair of the Finance Committee.
Mr. President, I'll second that motion.
Motion for Ms. Underwood. Second for Ms. Anderson to appoint Matt Miller Novak as the chair of the Finance Committee. Discussion?
Yes, Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood.
I would just like to point out that he has stepped up and says that he wants to do it. He wants to do the work. I'm somewhat dismayed that I'm going to lose him off of one of my committees, but I know that he'll do a really great job. And I have to say that he's very even keel, and I don't mean to campaign for Mr. Miller Novak, but I really do think that he'll do a great job. And I really do think that he communicates well with others.
Mr. President.
Mr. Miller Novak.
Erica, you can say all the nice things about me you want. No one's gonna mind. I'm not gonna, Eric, I actually really thought about it. I'm not gonna step down from the other two committees. I was gonna stay on public safety anyways, but I'm just gonna hang out and rules of public policy as well. So no worries there.
All right, I'll call the roll. Ms. Bailey?
I'm not sure if I should vote, but yes.
Blythe?
Yes.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes.
Mr. Miller Novak?
Yeah.
Ms. Zorb?
Yes.
Ms. Hartman?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. All right, so we also will have the chair of the City and Community Development and Recreation Committee.
Mr. President,
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood was first.
I would like to move that Ms. Anderson be appointed as the chair of the City and Community Development and Recreation Committee.
Mr. President,
Mr. Miller Novak.
wait,
as long as she's willing, I will second.
Mr. President,
Amber, you go first, please. Sorry.
Ms. Bailey.
I just want to say that I was going to suggest Ms. Anderson. Ms. Anderson, you completely got this. I promise. I will spend time with you before I leave and even after I leave to help you with everything that you need help with. I think it will be a great fit for you. And I think you should say yes.
Mr. President, before Ms. Anderson says anything.
Go ahead, Ms. Underwood.
Ms. Anderson, I will help you. I will do whatever you need me to do. You have seen me take minutes. I will take your minutes for you. I will do whatever you need me to do. Just say the word. There you go.
Sounds like you just got a co-chair.
I was gonna say, she needs a vice chair, Erica.
Yeah. Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson.
I was actually going to volunteer to do this, so this is
You're just wasting time then. That's what I'm hearing.
I know, but actually, I was also going to say, as long as everybody can have severe patience with me and coddle me a bit through it, I'd love to do it. I was just kind of getting used to the vice chair, so it's going to take me a second, but I'll totally take it on if you guys want to vote me in.
You can corral second graders. You're fine.
Yeah, we're only slightly more mature than the second graders. So,
All right, with that, I'm going to call the roll. Ms. Bailey.
Who made the motion? Who seconded?
Ms. Underwood made the motion. Mr. Miller Novak seconded. I apologize. Ms. Bailey?
Yes. Sorry, guys.
Ms. Blythe?
Yes.
Yes.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes.
Mr. Miller Novak?
absolutely.
Ms. Zorb?
Yes.
Ms. Hartman?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson?
sorry, while we're on the topic of inviting people to committees, I was wondering if I could be welcomed into the Rules and Public Policy Committee and the Public Safety Committee, but I wasn't sure if that was appropriate or how I should ask that.
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood?
I move that Ms. Anderson be added as a member to Rules and Public Policy as well as Public Safety.
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb, I'm sorry, Ms. Zorb was in there first.
Second.
All right, so we're, the motion from Ms. Underwood with a second from Ms. Zorb. is to add Ms. Anderson to Rules and Public Policy and Public Safety Committees. Discussion? I'm gonna quit calling for discussion since y'all are politicking for each other. All right. I'll call the roll. Ms. Bailey?
Yes.
Ms. Blythe?
Yes.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes.
Mr. Novak?
Yes.
Ms. Zorb?
Yes.
Ms. Hartman?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. All right, just to review the rest of the list then. So we now need a vice chair for city community development and recreation. Also interest in being the OKI liaison, being on the TIF committee, the CRA committee, and I refresh my memory. What was CRA?
Community reinvestment area.
Thank you.
So okay, cool.
And then also the CIC member, which I believe is appointed by the mayor.
Mr.
So I
President,
would say, Ms. Anderson.
it's okay. You can go ahead and finish. Sorry.
Well, I was going to say, just review the list. If you feel the need to volunteer, we are going to need some people to fill these spots. So,
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood.
I did tell Ms. Anderson before I knew she was going to do it anyway, that I would do anything I could to help her. So I will volunteer to be her vice chair on that committee if she would like for me to do that.
Mr. President,
Mr. President, I'll second that.
you want me to motion it first?
Yeah, go ahead and make that motion, please, Ms. Anderson.
Okay. I motion to appoint Ms. Underwood as the vice chair of the City and Community Development and Recreation Committee.
Mr. President,
Mr. Novak.
even though I'm not sure she's qualified for it, I will second that motion.
Tough crowd.
All right. Motion from Ms. Anderson to appoint Ms. Underwood as the vice chair of the City Community Development and Recreation. And the second by Mr. Miller Novak. I'll call the roll. Ms. Bailey?
Yes.
Ms. Blythe?
Yes.
Underwood?
Yes.
Mr. Miller Novak?
Yes.
Ms. Zorb?
Yes.
Ms. Hartman?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Thank you. So unless somebody wants to volunteer for one of those other positions now, is there any other old business?
Mr. President, I have a question.
Ms. Zorb?
Ms. Bailey, is the OKI meeting, are those virtual at this time?
Some have been virtual, some of them have been, you have the option to do either or. Sometimes they call them to be in person and then they'll cancel them and go to virtual. So yes and no.
Okay, thank
And
you.
then they start, yes ma'am, they do start though between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. And it's a Thursday out of the month, but I cannot remember which. It's typically around like the 15th, 16th, so mid-month Thursday kind of. They do all, but so OKI is Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana. It's the Regional Council of Governments, but their main focus is on stuff like transportation and energy savings. It is a good one to be on for grants and funding and just overall an idea of what's going on It will make you, though, never want to get on the bridge ever again a day in your life, but just saying.
Mr. President,
Ms. Blythe?
Amber, can you explain also the roles of TIP committee and CIC member, along with what the abbreviations mean?
For sure. So TIF is tax incremental financing. I have the two F's mixed up all the time. So basically what the TIF committee is if you ever have a big development that comes into North College Hill, we will kind of abate their taxes or put them on a tax loan situation, not a loan, but it's like a taxing program. So that way they don't have all of their taxes up front. They can kind of funnel them in and whatnot. That committee, I have been on it for 2 years and there hasn't ever been a TIF meeting. But then again, North College Hill is changing and there may be some big businesses or even small businesses after that in the future. TIFs are really hard to explain in like a nutshell, but I can give you information on it. The CIC is the City Improvement Corporation. These guys, in a nutshell, they are like the real estate holdings company for the city. They have more leeway to do things with buying, selling, trading of properties than the city does. The CIC is a great group of people. Like Mr. Cook is probably one of my favorite people that I've ever met. Mr. Mosby is on it. Madam Mayor is on it. Mr. Brooks, he's brilliant. He's on there. I think, are they the Dardens? Tangi and her husband, maybe? Sorry, I'm really bad with names, but those guys are awesome. The CIC is a really, really, really good group. Really good. And then CRA is Community Reinvestment Area. And basically, when somebody does a major renovation to their house, it takes the assessed value up of their house, but the whole city is a CRA. So if people do these major renovations, then they can get some kind of tax abatement or program or what have you. So I don't think I think that the CRA in this area should definitely be pushed more so people do take advantage of it more, but yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Bailey.
Thank you.
Mr. President,
Mr. Miller Novak?
Amber, how often does the CRA meet and what days?
To be honest, I think that the CRA in this area needs to be pushed more, hopefully through a new comprehensive plan, so they will actually have people to apply and have meetings. Because
Is it during the daytime, like OKA, or is it in the evenings?
It has never met before. No one has taken advantage of it, and I think it's $2,500 in renovations to your house. I think that's the number, but nobody's taken advantage of it since I've been on it for 2 years. So I guess it would be up to the members at large to choose once they got applications of when they could meet.
Okay.
Mr. President,
I'll talk to you about it. I might be interested in that. I'm sorry, Mr. Mosby, I didn't hear you snip in there.
no,
Go ahead, Mr. Mosby.
yes, so I did want to give an update to Ms. Bailey. We actually do have an applicant. Many of you know that there's a new building, a home that's being built on Merle, which is basically, for all intents and purposes, behind Long John Silver's, across from our law director's office. He did apply for the CRA, and when a person applies for the CRA for a residential property, basically what happens is, as Ms. Bailey said, if there is a minimum of $2,500 worth of improvements, then they can apply and they would be eligible for 50%, a 50% abatement, of the increase of the taxable increase, if you will, not the increase itself, but the difference between the taxes pre the improvements and then the taxes after the improvements. So they're eligible for 50% abatement of that amount. And so the CRA, then one of their roles is that they are to, first of all, check, they are to monitor the property, to make sure that the property is being kept up, to make sure that the applicant stays eligible for the abatement. Because if for some reason the CRA committee decides that they are not, that for whatever reason they haven't met the terms of their agreement, being the applicant, they can withdraw the abatement. So that would be the purpose of this committee meeting. And like I said, they are to at least once a year inspect the property to make sure it's in compliance.
And Mr. President, right quick, in order to maintain, to have both of these, the TIF, like to have a CRA for this area and have the ability to offer TIFs, the state mandates that we have 2 council members on there. So, yeah.
Mr. President,
Mr. Miller Novak.
I don't know that I'm ready to fully commit, but Ron, if you want to contact me and talk to me about it a little bit more, I think I'll probably do it if no one else wants to do it.
Look at that.
Yes, we can do that, Mr. Miller Novak. Sure.
Ms. Blythe?
When does the CIC meet?
The CIC meets on the 3rd Thursday of every month. It is also an optional meet in person or Zoom meeting. I'm pretty sure it's still optional. But if you do meet in person, there is plenty of room to social distance. So 3rd Thursday at between 6 and 6:30.
Oh, okay. Mr. President,
Ms. Blythe?
I'd like to volunteer for CIC since it's in the evening.
CIC is the one that is appointed by the mayor, correct?
Mhm.
Correct. That meeting is this week. And
This week.
did you want to come sit in on one before you made your decision on?
Yeah, I can do that. Mhm.
Okay. So it should be this Thursday. I know there'll be some special guests there this week. So I'm not sure how much of to end the business they'll get. They have a developer coming this Thursday. This Thursday. And the meetings are usually at 6:30 in council chambers. So you can come sit in and then we can talk or meet to, discuss what your thoughts were and if it was something that you think you might want to do.
Yeah, that'll be good. Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Blythe? All right, any other old business? Move to new business.
Mr. President,
Ms. Bailey?
right quick. So, my little free pantry, I'm attached to it. It does need to stay in North College Hill. Guys, I've had it for, I guess, 3 years now in my front yard. It is an old newspaper box that is full with non-perishable items. The community actually really surrounds itself around it. When it was stolen, it became a big thing, and then it was returned. I would like to see it go somewhere that is, again, open to people, because people do stop off and leave bags of food next to it, and then people do pick up bags of food. I haven't ever had any problems out of it as far as like vandalism or anything, and it does feed a lot of people. So I would like to tell the Eagle Scout and the Little Free Pantry people of Cincinnati where it is going, so they can kind of like update it on their end. I'm not sure if it can go on city-owned property, or I'm not really sure, but just an option. I would like to move it before I leave and help get it secured to its new home.
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb?
Ms. Bailey, are you able to deliver that? I don't know that it'll fit in my car.
Yeah, I got a truck.
Awesome. I'll take it. I'll fill it, keep it full.
It is
How's that?
full. It is full. And to be honest, Mary Jo, once I update them, you won't even have to. There's random Boy Scouts that bring stuff by. I put stuff in it. Like, it's, yeah. It's pretty self-sustaining. So cool. I'll get with you after the meeting and figure out a good time to move it to Sundale.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Orb.
Yep.
Any other new business?
If there's no more new business, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I will second that.
Motion from Ms. Bailey. Her final. Second by Ms. Zorb. To adjourn the meeting. I will call the roll. Ms. Bailey.
Yes.
Ms. Blythe.
Yes.
Ms. Underwood.
Yes.
Mr. Miller Novak.
Yes.
Ms. Zorb.
Yes.
Ms. Hartman.
Yes.
Ms. Anderson.
Yeah.
Motion passes 7-0. All right. Once again, Ms. Bailey, thank you for your service to the city of North College Hill. This meeting is adjourned.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.